There's the sun and the moon when the sky's looking blue. Light is catching your eye like it's meant to.
Hello, welcome to my channel for Evolved Humans. I am Ms. Day. So, this one got really heavy really fast as soon as I started because I think a lot of you, it's almost like I feel like there was a big wave of feminine, kind of like feeling empowered inside of some of you. Like I feel like there's a big, it's like this allowed to flow feeling. And I think that some of you may even have struggled with this or like okay. There is a feeling that like in the past, whoever this reading is for, whoever it pops up like into your feed and you feel drawn to it, I feel like you went through this period of time in the past where you faced your inner demons and you balanced out, all of your like negatives and you really did the inner work. And I feel like you paid for your own lack of knowing. Like all of these moments led up to like I kind of feel like this sounds awful, but I feel like I'm kind of talking to some people. This isn't all of you in this one, but this is like some of you where I feel like you were kind of battered. You kind of reached this like feeling in the past of being like really just exhausted and depleted from everything that you had already experienced. Like you were just like just coming out and catching your breath. And I think that you actually did do that, and it's almost like maybe a change of location or just a detachment from something that like felt toxic and really heavy. And I think that because right now this is like an end to something, but this doesn't feel like an end to something and oh yay. Like I feel like the message that is instantly coming through. All right. The song that I felt when I was getting ready to begin was, it's actually an older song. It's like this song by Martina McBride. It's With a Broken Wing, I think. It's like, and with a broken wing, she still sings. And I feel like some of you haven't ever gotten to fully express what it is that you went through, like in an organized fashion. I just keep seeing like a book even where, like people have memoirs or whatever, like where they've got their whole story piece by piece organized, That's what this feels like, where it's like there's an ending to everything that was happening to you. You already stepped out, and I think that you've encountered other connections that feel more high level, that give you more positive, like reactions inside of your own body. And then going forward, it's like the message is, okay, leave that in the past. All of that battered type of feeling, like all of like feeling like literally battered. That's what I keep getting. It's like going forward, now just be done with it. Be done with it. Be done taking crap from anyone. Be done allowing yourself to feel like, oh, this keeps happening to me. This is interesting. I got this earlier in the day where I feel like there's this huge wave of people who are feeling like they're stepping out of feeling like a victim. And I don't mean that in a self-pity way. I mean like I feel like there are so many of you that are transitioning forward and you're like, okay, I am no longer needing to be chained to this experience. I learned what I needed to learn from it and it's time to move forward and like pick up and carry on. And that's what the message is going forward. It's like leave it behind. It is justified in this moment as the past. And like you can never change the past, but you can readdress the future with a new perspective. Like your perception has shifted. You've completely come into yourself in a more fulfilled way. And that's what this feels like. Like you balanced out. you did maturing, you did inner work, that maybe even a lot of you, I think you felt like it was late for you to do that. So going forward, it seems like one of the largest messages I keep getting. So in the beginning, when I was ready to start the reading, this is coming back, and I'm glad, because I wasn't sure what this was about. It almost feels like some of you do this thing where you want to be 10 steps ahead when you're not fully confident in the first 3 steps, which I know that's going to make sense to whoever it applies to, but it's like, I think that it's almost like some of you are doing it in the way where you're pressuring yourself, like you're expecting results before time has passed to even bring those results into fruition, you know? And then some of you, I feel like, are constantly like trying to move forward, and it's almost to avoid some things that are coming up underneath in this feminine area, where it's like almost like a pain that needs to kind of come out. And I think that you feel like it's really, for some of you, I think that it's kind of mortifying when this type of stuff comes up, because you're like, oh, this is the level where I don't know if I can stop it when it starts. And you can. That's what they're saying here. They're saying like, no more this is all happening to me mentality. Now face it with an upright, I'm stepping into my own power. This is something too, I kept hearing the song from Frozen, just like let it go. Like I feel like they're saying like step fully forward from what you've learned. Like use all of that and leave what happened where it belongs. Step out of it. Let go of its grip on you. And now be like, okay, now I'm not going to vibrate on that level anymore. That's what it feels like an upright walk. And I feel like when you do this, you have permission to do it in a protected manner, but you are protected. Like, I feel like a lot of you have to take that pressure off of yourself and allow for the process to go its course, you know, like let it move, because something has ended. And now for something new to begin, you need to reestablish a firm foundation. You did do the inner work. You do deserve a solid ground to walk forward on. And this is another thing. It just feels like it's not going to necessarily be easy to release these past vibrations that, like, you know, cause negative feelings in you. You've released something from the past. I think you went through a period of grieving and regrouping. This could even be literally coming out from your childhood home or like an early on relationship in your adulthood. I feel like I also keep thinking it's almost like I keep thinking of someone who keeps themselves busy and they don't think they have time for emotions, because it's like I keep trying to rush through and like skip over the pain parts, and it's like, but those parts, they have to come out. And a lot of times the physical stuff will bleed out after our awareness has already aligned with it. So like we're conscious of it, and then it's like our consciousness has to go the full cycle to get that all the way back out. That's why, you know that thing that they say where they're like, I don't know, I don't remember what movie this is, but I feel like it was in this movie with David Duchovny and Minnie Driver, I think. And it was like, one of the things that her grandfather said to her, because she had like some heart problem and she wasn't able to enjoy, or like she was alive because someone else had died. She had someone else's heart. And she had weird mixed feelings about that. And her grandfather was like, I know that God gives the most to those who have like the most strength in them. It's like he gives the largest battles to those who have the most to overcome. I don't know. Terrible job reciting this movie's lines. But I just keep feeling like when you go all the way to the lowest low, in order to experience like the highest level that you can experience, you have to be able to be fully evolved, where you can reach that low again. You can come head to head with it and actually still come out of it. This is crazy because I just kept wanting to say, okay, I wasn't sure if this was going to come in or not, but it definitely is. When you're letting go of like some sort of, this is not everyone, but I feel like for some of you that are letting go of like a past addiction, like a cycle, like a habitual type of thing going on in here. And some of you, it is like an eating disorder type of thing where, and I know this is really personal, but it's the same as sort of an addiction where you feel like I'm never going to not do this. This is a part of my lifestyle. This is a part of my actual operating system now. One of those things that you need to do, this is where that like expecting yourself to be 10 steps ahead when you're not even solid here yet. It's like trust in the fact that like stumbling is the walk forward. Like you're going forward from a place that doesn't quite feel sturdy. So of course, your steps forward, you're going to have some slip-ups. You're going to have some fallback days. And when you have those moments, as someone who used to experience like the worst of the eating disorder stuff, like they don't have enough labels for what eating disorders there are out there. When you're going into those moments where you're like, oh my gosh, I messed up this one time, don't take that as a fallback. Take that as a part of the forward motion. That's going to be there. Slip-ups happen. It's however many less slip-ups you can have, like that's where your pace is going to develop. You're going to find that day where it's no longer going to be there. And that's a part of this thing where when you can go to the lowest low and then come back out again and trust in yourself that you can come back out. That's the goal. It's like knowing that no matter what you have experienced, like your reactions are evolving. Your reactions can always come out of it differently. And that's where like, I think that a lot of this type of thing, like triggers, this is something that I feel like is really important because I think that a lot of people are feeling like triggered in this last week, which is coming in at this moment. Some of those triggers that come from these deep little pockets inside of us of like things that we're not necessarily happy with in our own selves, or it's something that we kind of feel like we haven't expelled outward and we kind of need to. We have this like burning, upward motion to get something out of us. Those triggers are for a reason. So it's like evolving and stepping more upright into your power and trusting that you have to go forward no matter what outside voices are going to not understand that. You have to go forward in the way that like you're sure of. Because when those triggers become less controlling and constricting of your forward motion and more of like a fire behind it, that's what you want. You want those triggers to be like, I can beat that. That got me one time, but that doesn't mean it's got me down tomorrow. Like, give yourself more credit for the trying, for the effort. This is something that like I used to say in personal training a lot, where I would say to someone, effort is progress. Like if you're making a new effort, then you are operating as a new being already. It's just little bitty bits forward that are going to take you there. And I think in this case, it's not necessarily going to be easy or even little steps that you're taking, because I feel like you're going to have to feel the rip away of certain outside things that kind of make you feel comfortable, or even comfortable in your lifestyle. Like even alone at night when you're like able to sink into these things that maybe null you out or like hold you back. They're saying like, do what isn't necessarily easy, but you know is right. And I keep hearing this thing that I heard, I think Oprah say one time, which is be excellent in every single thing that you do. And I feel like some of you just need that little nudge where they're like, just try a little harder, just try a teeny bit harder, just try a little bit harder. And every single time that you do that, that's an accomplishment in itself. You're leaving behind this victim mentality of like, being a victim to what's happening to you, and you're just catching up to the pace where you get to take control of it. I'm really sorry if that sounds like super harsh. I just feel like that's what this message is. I feel like whoever you are, like you're trying to get upright here. You're trying to get where you're fully stepping into your power, fully aligned with it, and releasing those weird things that like hold us back, even those narratives. A lot of you, I feel like it's those narratives that other people placed on us. They're like, let it go and leave it there. Take with you what you want from it, not what you thought you had to take. From now on, what do you want to learn from that? What's that going to do with you going forward? Very empowering feeling in this reading. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that that was helpful. Definitely continue to let me know in the comments if this resonates with you, and subscribe to the channel and allow for notifications if you want to know when I upload new readings. If you're interested in a personal reading, you can email me. The email is in the description of the channel, and I will see you in the next reading. Have a good rest of your night.